about the Cardillo guy?
Yeah, I was talking about the weights, how they have the water, and then it's like a drop set as the water's pouring out. You ever see that video?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was in a Machiavelli motivation video.
There's so many videos that guy does of them, but I can't imagine having if you want to do another set. Like how you
gotta probably just drop it back into the
but then you gotta pick the fucking thing up.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
You ever try air pressure machines? I love those.
I did once. I was actually out with the guest we just had on last week, Measy, at some little gym in Jersey, because we were there for a 5% event, and they had those air pressure machines. You know what I'm talking about, Nick?
Yeah.
No.
Basically, it works with.
It's really cool.
Like hydraulic resistance.
Yeah, on one side you press a button and the resistance goes up, and on one side you can lower the air pressure resistance.
Yeah.
So you can literally do a drop set by pressing your thumb against it. When I do dips, there's an air pressure dip. A few gyms I've been to has had it. It's rare though.
So what does it do? It keeps pressure on
It's a
standby?
different type of resistance where you like turn it and you'll see like, I guess, was it PSI?
Yeah. Pounds per square inch.
Yeah, so it turns up, I don't know, let's just say it's 300, and then I'm doing dips, and then I'm giving out, I press it down to 200, and then it's literally, I drop set it in my hands.
What's funny is that's like a really, really old school machine, because that was before weights.
Really?
Yeah, that was before, not before, but that was when we really started trying to use like hydraulics and work and everything.
Oh, I didn't know
Because
that.
it's just a glorified hydraulic press, if you think about it. You know, say we're lifting up a small car, with like 2,000-pound car, right?
Yeah.
So it would be the equivalent of if we had a 2,010-pound car, the piston would start going down, right?
Yeah.
So that's the equivalent of us saying putting 300 pounds of resistance on it, but we're pulling 310 pounds, so we're able to move it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it was a way for gyms to get equipment in cheaper because they'd have to pay for all the metal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You see what I mean?
You're like an encyclopedia, bro.
I just know about that.
I feel like that was more new age, though. I mean, you said it is.
Well, not old school, like kind of in between.
Okay, because I could see like futuristic machines being like that.
I think they should be.
Right?
But they need a lot more maintenance.
Yeah.
Like if you slam it, it's going to mess things up.
Or I thought of like a machine. I don't know how you'd work the pulley system, but imagine doing like a certain workout when you'd lose the eccentric, which would be bad, but imagine you could do like a curl and then maybe it twists in the handles and you go right into tricep and you twist it. I don't know. That might be too extra.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But we have a handle like that at Bev's, though. You ever see the one with the circles?
Yeah.
And you can move your wrist freely in that?
Yeah.
I've used that for triceps before where I come up like this all the way to stretch and then come down and push out.
No, he's saying like...
No, he's saying like where you'd be able to go like this.
You would only be doing concentric portions of the lift.
But at the same time, you would still need a top pulley and a bottom pulley.
That would have to click and shift as you do the top and end range. That might be a little extra, but
it'd
be pretty cool. It's
a really good sell for people who don't know what they're doing in the gym.
Yeah. You just get the right marketing team.
Yeah.
Get the best pumps of your life.
Oliver's new business on the check.
Arsenal, send the check because they're probably going to fucking make this. They make some good shit, man. Arsenal.
Yeah. I was actually checking out their equipment because, I'm with MFit Sups. That's my supplement sponsor. And Guy Cisternino's good friends with Flex Lewis. I always confuse Flex Lewis and Flex Wheeler.
I knew you were going to say
that. Yeah. Flex. Yeah. So, when we do open up the MFit gym, I know we're definitely going to be getting some Arsenal equipment.
Arsenal stuff's good, man.
Yeah, they have some cool stuff.
I'll tell you what I don't like. I don't like their, what is it? It's the Smith machine. I don't like their Smith machine.
I hate that piece.
Who likes the Smith machine?
I don't usually use Smith machines.
Yeah.
I'll use them.
It has a purpose.
Because obviously I'm
a big fan of the Smith.
I love it.
I do a lot of Meadow stuff, obviously. Everybody knows by now. But a lot of his stuff that if we're doing something that's not more dumbbell or bench press related, and the movement's a little bit different. So what he likes to do is he likes to go 1 1/4 reps. So you come down all the way for 1, back up a quarter, back down, and then that's 1 rep. So if I was to do that with a barbell, I'd definitely fatigue a little quicker. But as a Smith machine, it'll keep my form tight even as I start to lose.
You get to focus more on the mind-muscle connection.
Yeah, but the Arsenal one, they're the actual weight, the plates to put it on, the actual length of the bar is really short. So you don't get to put a lot of plates.
You can't load that much weight on?
Not really.
So you just max out the machine?
It's like, dude, it's like 3 or 4 plates. And I'm not sitting here saying I do that because I don't. But at 3 or 4 solid 45-pound plates would not fit on there. And then the issue I have...
the Russian plates.
The Alico or the Ivanko plates.
Yeah.
But the issue I have with that also is there's no knurling on the bar. So there's nowhere for you to measure up how far you are.
Yeah.
So at least
you
with
need that little crease to use
just
your
to know
thumbs as
that
the
just to know
benchmark.
that my ring finger is going to go on that, and then I'm even on both sides.
Yeah.
There's nothing on there, so you're looking
You can't
40
gauge
times
that.
up and down. You're like, is it
It's
is
like
it even?
that one Smith machine at Bev's. You know that one that's like a thicker silver bar that has no knurling on it whatsoever.
Is that the one he's talking about? The
The
red one.
Is that yeah?
That's the Arsenal.
Oh, that is
That's the
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Oh, I didn't know
See,
that.
he fucking
you know
hates it.
That's so funny.
He didn't even know he hated it.
Yeah,
He's
there
like,
you
"All
go.
right."
There you go.
He's like,
That's
he's
funny.
describing all the issues I have with this one at Bev's.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
I've used it a few times for benching, and I know that one does have a slight angle to it.
Yeah.
And that's actually a natural type of benching movement. People don't realize that with push-ups or with benching, there's always a slight lowering in terms of positioning with your height. You like come up here, and then you come to the midline of your chest.
Yeah.
So there's that natural arch that I like, but if you can't measure up your thumbs, then you might be like this.
Yeah, dude, horrendous.
You know what? It's what I don't like about it is resistance. It's not that it's a heavy bar, but if you notice when you're pushing up, there's a little bit of a struggle to get it by, as if it needs to be greased or something. But it's a brand new piece,
Oh,
so
really?
I was a little bit.
I don't know if I don't know if I felt that. Now
Well,
I'm gonna notice.
I'm
Now
comparing
I'm
it
gonna
I
taste.
feel like that one's pretty damn smooth.
I'm comparing smooth, but like it's a little resistance. I'm comparing to the Smith machine to the right of it, the really skinny one,
Yeah.
Black one.
the black one to the
love
right
that
of it
one.
without the incline. I love that piece, and it goes up like it's fucking nothing.
Yeah,
That's
that
right
one's
next to
smooth.
the shoulder press. The
Yes,
shoulder,
yes,
shoulder
the hammer
press, and
piece.
then there's the thinner one. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
know-
love that one.
You know what I find interesting? Grip width, like fat grips, or if there's a skinny bar, if there's thicker dumbbells, how that feels when you're benching. Because I find that with the thicker grips, it'll actually engage your central nervous system more so, and I think you're stronger. Like if you ever had a 100-pound dumbbell with a thin grip, it's hard. It's like hard to manage as you hold it.
I guess if you use a lot of wrist wraps. I don't use a lot of wrist wraps. I have a lot of guys that'll train with me, and I'll put up weight, and we'll both be able to put the same amount of weight up.
Yeah.
But they're a quarter of the weight before we hit our top end. They're already getting wrapped up on Versa grips and wrist wraps, and I feel like that takes away from your actual wrist strength and ability to
That's
grip.
true.
I mean, when I
Yeah.
used to deadlift all the time, I used to do raw, a double overhand.
Yeah. You ever
Raw-
hook it?
What do you mean?
Like
Thumb
one-
under?
When you squeeze your thumb and
No.
you can double overhand it like that. So
No.
like let's just say 315, you can double overhand, then 365 or 405, you feel it rolling out of your hands. You can actually put your thumbs over the bar, squeeze your thumbs against the bar. You actually desensitize the nerves in your thumb, but you don't risk tearing your bicep. Because if you look at anybody who's ever done a deadlift and tore their bicep, they do mixed grip.
Yeah,
you
I never-
can't
I
tear your
can't-
bicep if you're doing
I
that.
can't do mixed grip. I hate it. It feels
It's
so
risky. It's risky.
feels
Yeah.
so uncomfortable. And my coach yelled at me when I started deadlifting. He's just like, "No, you're doing double overhand
Yeah.
for symmetry and just overall grip strength."
Exactly.
But yeah, my top end weight was 470, I think, on a deadlift.
Double overhand.
Double
No
overhand,
hook.
no hook, nothing.
Holy crap.
I think I got it
Damn.
for 3 or 4.
You could break a hand, bro.
Well, Nick likes
Oh,
to go
dude.
in raw, right?
My grip strength crazy, bro. I could choke a
That's
fucking
crazy.
whale and I'd just be like right there, dude. My grip strength is nuts, man.
Shamu, no.
Yo, everything I do. But you know, and then there was a piece that actually Sadiq hit me up about. He actually said, what was that? There was like a 3-ball piece. You ever see me working out with that thing back in the day? I used to bring it with me all the time.
I think so.
It's called a muscle mace. Elite FTS, who Meadows is very integrated with.
It looks like a mace.
It looks like, I'll show you a picture of it. They call it the muscle mace, and it's phenomenal. And the cool thing about it is you buy 2 of them. They're 2 separate pieces that hang off of it, and you can do. It's 3. I think they're 3-inch balls. So 3-inch balls. So when you get to the top, you're working tighter on your triceps. When you get to the middle, you're working middle, and then you're pushing out for the last one.
yeah.
But at the same time, you're not grabbing the actual metal in between. You're grabbing the balls and working your grip.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so
That's like Ninja Warrior.
Yes.
Ninja Warrior at the set. When you're swinging, they'll have those ones where you grab
for the
these-
pull-ups and stuff, right? Here, look.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There it is. Come on.
You guys ever check out Alex Honnold?
I don't know anything
He's the
about
guy.
him.
He free soloed El Capitan.
Oh, the
guy who
Yeah.
free
whoever-
solo,
his
free
hand-
solo
Yeah.
the movie,
Free
right?
solo. Yeah.
That's that piece.
Holy crap! So you get a crazy tricep pump and a crazy
Insane
forearm pump.
Forearm grip. It's
Yeah.
it's nuts, but that's good. I saw that movie. Gave
Yeah.
me super anxiety.
Yeah. Oh my god! And they had 3D cameras too, so you could look up and you could look down, and then you could just see him like. And then he'll like take
Horrendous.
a break. But his hands are ridiculous, and his hand strength, and what he did like is just absolutely unreal. Like to anybody else that free solos or rock climbs or really understands Like when you go into that field, what he did is just superhuman in a sense.
But let's go into that for a minute, because there's a fine line between a really cool hobby and being stupidly risky.
Yeah, no, of course.
Right?
It is stupidly risky,
There's a
but at the same
trade-off.
time, it's like follow your passion and let it kill you, or like do what you love.
People,
True,
it's different risks for us. We're obviously not risking our lives in business.
That's what I'm talking about. When it's your life on the line.
But think about it though,
yeah.
from a perspective of a guy that wants to be. I'm a big football guy, so think about like Tom Brady, a guy who wants to be the best.
Exactly.
He will do anything that it takes to be the best. He'll watch film all day, all night. He'll practice. Same thing with this kid. The risks for him don't outweigh the benefits of potentially scaling that face of the mountain.
Yeah.
And being the first person to ever do. Was he the first person to ever do that?
First person to ever
So,
do
yeah.
that. And
That's crazy.
That's all individualized, I feel like.
Right.
With whatever you're passionate about. Like, some boxers like Muhammad Ali, rest in peace, but obviously he took a lot of brain damage, but he left a legacy that's going to live on forever, What you do in life echoes in eternity, and whatever that may be, is all individualized. So, granted that it is crazy.
Yeah.
And by no means should somebody who watched that says like, now I'm going to start free solo, because
I'll
this
do it
guy's
twice.
been doing it.
Yeah, but no, maybe, but that's how inspirations happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but start small.
Some
obviously,
kid watching that movie going, "Yo, that is some crazy shit. I would
True.
love
Exactly.
to do that."
True.
And then they start training for the next 10 years.
Exactly.
10,
10
15,
years,
20
exactly.
years, and then all of a sudden now they're scaling the next biggest thing, And
It just has to be calibrated in a sense, and
and
obviously.
we'll see it on a Netflix documentary 20 years down the line. I was watching that Free Solo movie and I started training every day.
Yeah, one of his buddies actually was free soloing, and he fell like 20 feet, 30 feet. And he got injured bad, but he's back to climbing. It's crazy when those
it's a
freak
passion.
accidents
It's a
happen.
passion.
Yeah, it's a passion. Like, bodybuilding. Let's just say there's freak accidents that happen
Of course.
and you get hurt. As soon as you get better, you're getting back to it.
True. But
So,
I guess the difference that I'm seeing it in
the risk
is,
versus reward.
But the risk versus reward in
Yeah.
regards to having total control over the situation. If you're a boxer, a football player, a bodybuilder, you're in control of the situation.
Oh, yeah.
But if there's something wet on a rock that you're climbing and it's a whole third-party thing that you can't control, is what messes you up. All
he's
the training.
had moments where he's grabbed something and it's
Right.
chipped away.
That's what I'm saying.
But they
is-
actually go through the whole route that he's doing beforehand, and they prep it. There's people that prep it, the climb. It's not like he just walks up and does it.
Okay,
so there
that's a
are
whole
people
different-
that prep the
that's a
climb,
whole different
and they
story
feel an
then.
immense amount of pressure on themselves because they're like, I'm prepping this climb. He's done the climb probably with ropes before, but then there's that one moment where it's like, now you're going to do the climb with no safety whatsoever. And obviously he has to hit a flow state where he's like, I've done this before. I practiced the movements. I've, premeditated all of it in his head. Because some people watching could just think, oh, he just walked up one day and just climbed it, when it's like...
Well, that's how a lot of people feel when they see an athlete at the top of their peak, at the top of their game, or they see any of us when we competed, or when you're going to compete.
Yeah.
They think, oh, dude, look, they just got like that. Nah,
Exactly.
man, this is fucking years of
It's not
grinding and
Oh, yeah.
just in the rut of just becoming the best version of yourself. So it's wild, man.
And something like him, what he did, obviously is like a 0.0001% of what humans can do. Same thing with David Goggins. Are you guys familiar with him?
A little bit. I like him. He was doing the Marine stuff.
Yeah.
And he does the long distance training and running.
Yeah, and the whole he was a Navy SEAL.
Navy SEAL, that's what it was, yes.
Yeah, and I think he's done the most amount of hell weeks and didn't make it through X amount of times, and then made it through due to injuries and the brutal.
And he was
brutality.
older. He was older when he did it too, right?
Yeah, and it's really not about like, obviously you don't have to free solo, or you don't have to become a Navy SEAL, but it's just showing what the human potential is when you set your mind to something.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
And to
I love
quantify
that.
that is just like indescribable. It's like, if this person can set their mind and do this, that's what the beauty of bodybuilding is. It's a physical manifestation of your hard work. You carry that with you. You can't buy it. You can try to, but it's fake. And it looks funny. But at the end of the day, that's what I love about bodybuilding. It's not, you don't hit the lottery and buy a Ferrari. Like, it's kind of the Ferrari of bodies, so to speak.
If it was money, every multimillionaire in the world would look like Phil Heath.
Yeah.
Well, it's not exactly how it works.
What year, Phil Heath, though?
It doesn't even matter.
You saw the one that Steve Lorius reposted? That video of Phil Heath?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's a phenomenal, like, I don't know what year. I think it was maybe 2012. Phil just looked unreal.
I'm sure he
aesthetics,
looked crispy
unreal.
and real.
Yeah, I mean,
Phil
there's a
was
reason he's won the Olympia so many times.
I was talking to one of the guys in the gym yesterday, one of the older guys that used to compete back in the 90s and 80s. He's and older. When I say that, I mean he's 40s, 50s. Really good dude. You guys definitely know him if you see him. But he showed me his pictures back when he was competing. Dude, the crispiness of his lines is so sick. And now you look at the dudes now, especially in open. I'm not going to judge anybody because obviously what they have to do to get to that size and do everything. But I so prefer that look. Even over, listen, some of our classic guys now today don't even look classic because obviously the division, you want to go back to the 70s, 80s golden era look, but nobody's really going to be able to go back to that style, even though as much as people want to say that they can and they try to. Yeah. But man, you look at some of those and when I see pictures of people from back then, I remember why I saw Pumping Iron and got excited. Yeah. Like, man, this dude is full, big and veiny and this and that. And it's not even like the guys nowadays aren't that, but you just see the side effects from the different substances that they're using to get to the sizes. They're using shortcuts
by doubling down on the dose, so to speak.
Yeah. And I can't speak about any of that because I don't know.
I
don't know anything about it. So
I mean, I'm sure there's more accessibility to it. Well, at one time, actually, they were legal. They were legal at one, but it is different stuff, like you said. So, but I'm not well versed.
If you look at the most dangerous, the most potent not steroid, but drug in bodybuilding is insulin. Is insulin?
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Insulin,
scary shit.
Yeah, but you can actually die from one shot if you do it wrong.
If you do it wrong, you're screwed. If you do it the right way, but don't eat the right thing, your blood sugar is going to drop, and if you're driving, you're going to hit another car. You're screwed. But
shooting up insulin while you're driving.
But you know what's funny? You can do it while you're driving because there's insulin that hits you in 5 seconds, like immediate, or there's one that releases in like an hour, 2 hours. There's really long esters where it releases in like 6, 7 hours.
Dude, I'm such a pussy. I read the packages of vitamins, and I'm like, what's this going to do to me? Yeah, dudes be taking insulin just driving around.
those dinosaur gummies, I'm not so sure about it.
Those Flintstone gummies, man, I'm not sure, man. They're all extinct. I don't know if I want to take
gelatin.
Gelatin.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is that the most dangerous drug in bodybuilding is the legal one.
Yeah,
you can go to Walmart and buy like Novolin R insulin. It releases in like an hour.
Really? You can? That's OTC.
Yeah, it's $20 a vial.
No way.
Yeah,
insulin.
because
holy crap.
Because it's not technically it's insulin, but it's what is it, like the generic version of it?
Store brand.
Yeah,
like a store brand version of shampoo.
But it's in the pharmacy. My point is that anybody can go and get their hands on it without a problem. The most dangerous drug. If you do one bad shot of insulin thinking I'm going to get big, you can die.
Yeah.
If you take a whole vial of test, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you've never used anything and say, you know what, I'm going to use this and not use too much, nothing bad's going to, unless you shoot like a bubble into your vein, you're going to be fine. So it's crazy that the illegal drugs are the ones that aren't going to kill you. They might mess you up more long term.
That's why I choose to be natural. I'm a professional.
Yeah, you got to respect that, man.
Bodybuilding Federation.
Yeah.
I'm a personal trainer, so when I train my clients, I tell them, if I could do it naturally, you can do it too. Obviously, it depends on your goal. If you want to be Mr. Olympia, there's different routes you have to take, different paths. But for me, it's just about functionality, longevity, sustainability, and that's what I'm in alignment with, and that's what I preach. And obviously, it's important to touch on the fact that competing isn't healthy, natural or unnatural.
No,
you go to low body fat percentages. That's why I'm drinking this kombucha. I'm getting ready for a show. I'm a week out. A little carbonation right there.
We gotta go on that a little bit because I don't know when we finish what we're talking about now. I don't know a fucking thing about kombucha.
Oh, it's delicious.
I have no idea what it is
so it's a fermented drink. Yeah,
right.
They use yeast, some bacteria, and there's like probiotics or prebiotics. It's supposedly good for gut health.
Right.
It tastes great. There's a company, it's the most common one. It's GT Dave kombucha.
Yes.
That you'll see that everywhere. And he swears by
trilogy.
The trilogy.
Yeah.
Oh, see, he knows.
Yo, the trilogy is one of my trilogy Gingerade or berry ginger, blue ginger.
I like when they have the seed. I like when they have the seeds in them. The little jelly,
the chia
seeds.
Yeah. Oh, those are good.
What are the macros in those things?
So this is literally 50 calories.
Holy shit!
It's 12 grams of carbs, 10 grams of sugar.
I'm gonna have to get my hands on one of those.
10 grams of sugar.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, these are great though.
That's awesome.
And I know the science on gut health is all over the place. I don't know what is substantial and what is, up in the air.
Well, that's anything. That's
Right.
any study, realistically. I mean, something comes out, whether it's a study or a movie or a documentary, which we'll talk about because I watched a little bit of that plant-based
Game
document-
Changers.
Yes,
Yeah.
Game Changer. It was-
I actually was invited by James Wilkes to the premiere.
oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome, man.
So I got to meet Nimai Delgado and a few other people.
When was that?
That was in September, I believe.
That's sick, man.
That was right before I left for the Olympia. He actually sent me an invitation to California, to the one where Arnold would be at, but it was 2 days prior to the red carpet event. And then I was just like, looking through, I was like, I gotta go. And I was like, I can't make it.
It's just too much money
I
and
live
shit.
in Long Island.
Yeah.
It's
probably expensive last
clients,
minute.
With MFit, with my work, it would just be hard to drop everything at once and say, I'm out, I'm going to this. And, there was a premiere in New York. So everything kind of worked out. And that was just truly amazing.
Awesome.
I watched a little bit of it. I watched a little bit of the movie. I thought it was good. I thought it was interesting as somebody who eats a lot of steak, chicken. I eat a ton of sushi. I don't think there's a week that goes by that I don't eat sushi at least 3-4 times a week. And I know that's not healthy in its own ways because of the mercury and stuff like that. So I usually very picky with what type of fish.
Sushi places as well?
Yeah, I'll spend the
Right.
extra money. There's a
Gotcha.
spot in town right here in Roslyn called Yuzu. Really good. The fish is extremely fresh. And I used to go to an old sushi spot in Jericho that was unbelievable. He flew all of his own fish in. He was very selective of where it came from. My biggest issue with fish is the mercury taste that you get. So I get a mercury taste if I go somewhere that doesn't have quality. And I know a lot of my friends and family, they'll want to go to an all-you-can-eat spot. All-you-can-eat spots are going to give you dog shit fish.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason they can make a profit. And you
Exactly.
can eat 20 plates.
They give you a ton of rice to fill you up, and then you're eating the fish, and the rice is overpowering the actual taste of the fish, and you don't notice that there's that little bit of metal taste that you taste on, especially on tuna. You're like, and people don't understand that's
Tuna's the worst.
That's polluted fish from off the coast of Japan.
Tilapia would be worse.
Oh God, don't get me
Because
started on
tilapia
tilapia.
is all
Bottom
farm-raised.
feeder,
And
disgusting fish.
They're crapping in the.
Oh, I'm just talking about mercury levels.
Oh, mercury. I don't know what the mercury levels of the fishes are.
I can look.
Yeah,
I'll look that up.
Since
Yeah.
tilapia is farm raised, it's not going to have any mercury.
But it's going to be
Usually-
covered in feces.
Oh no, but
potentially.
tilapia is by far the worst fish you can eat.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was eating 5 pounds every 2 days when I was doing prep with my
Oh
first
yeah.
coach.
I was.
And I was sucking down. Remember, when you eat cold tilapia,
Yeah.
the jelly.
Oh yeah.
I don't
It's
know
like,
if anybody's
what does
listening to this that
matter?
has
Yeah.
done this,
Yeah.
gagging right now
Yeah.
because I just gag thinking
You know
about.
what I used to do is I was eating a lot of cod back in my other preps,
Oh, worms. That's much better.
but I would
One of my friends got worms once.
yeah.
Yeah, he was getting sushi from near a gas station spot.
Oh well, I fucking wonder why.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was saying is I would cook the cod so I wouldn't have worms, right, Nick?
Yeah, man.
And then I would have I would put it in my big Tupperware. I'd have this jelly whenever I go to weigh it out. So before I put it in my fucking Tupperware, I would just rinse it off and then put it in. It would be fine. But it's
Yeah, that's the thing you have to be careful with. It's even when I went to the
Disgusting.
all-you-can-eat sushi places, it tastes good. That's the thing. It's it'll taste good. Obviously, the higher quality tastes better.
of course.
But it's just oh, this is convenient. This sushi spot's right here. I could spend $10 and get 5 rolls and eat it on the go or something like that. And it's sometimes the convenience of it can backfire on you too.
It backfires
Yeah.
when you're shitting your brains out.
You gotta go buy some Pepto.
12 hours later, your bowels are just evacuating because of the shit you just ate.
I wonder what happened.
Your stomach's like, this isn't a fish.
Yeah, yeah.
So what is this shit? But I'm very picky with where I go. I don't eat white tuna. White tuna is horrible for you. It's not actually real tuna. I think it's albacore. It might be.
Albacore tuna.
Yeah, but it's like the whole piece.
But that's not good for you, albacore?
The way they process that type to get it to be white tuna
Mm.
in sushi restaurants, you eat it raw. I gotta check. I could be wrong on that.
I know there are a lot of metals in certain tunas. I don't know if you get it from the can, if there's a higher metal, obviously too.
I think it's a higher metal when you do the sashimi and at sushi restaurants that don't get their fish the right way because it's all coming off the coast of Japan and the radiation from the plants exploding is still affecting it.
Oh, I could imagine. Radiation is that's gonna be around
There
for
forever.
a while.
Yeah. Just
Chernobyl.
Yeah, I was about to say, ask Chernobyl. How's it going over there? But when I was when I was down in Hawaii,
Hey, Chernobyl.
send
Send
the check. We mentioned you.
And you hear crickets.
Oh my god.
Green crickets
Yeah,
hopping in here.
crickets that are like 6 feet tall, walking around like this.
Something on Men in Black.
When I was
Sugar water.
when I was in Hawaii, man, I had some of the freshest tuna I've ever had because they catch it off the island of Hawaii.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And
That's nice.
And it's $5 at gas stations. But the gas stations there, the guys are going out in the morning to catch the tuna and bringing it back.
Wow.
So their gas station fish is real good gas station fish.
Yeah. How many times have you been to Hawaii?
Twice. Solo trips.
So
Just went by
That's
myself.
nice.
yeah, that was epic. I remember one time you had to cut it short though because of the hurricane, right?
Yes, I had to cut it short because of the hurricane, but I also didn't mind cutting it short.
Mm-hmm.
So I wound up staying with a buddy of mine that was a Marine down there for the second half of the trip. So we linked up the first time I went down there.
Yeah.
I was originally going down there to see a friend who moved down there. And then last minute...
Oh, you told me.
Yeah, last minute he switched up on me, moved to a different island. He's like, maybe we can get you an Airbnb over here. And this
So
and
that
that.
was unintentional solo.
I said, yeah, exactly. I said, the whole reason I'm going down there is to stay with you. I said, I wouldn't go to fucking Hawaii. I'd spend half the amount of money I spent on airfare and do a whole all-inclusive trip in Mexico and just be drunk on a beach all day.
Yeah.
And have everything paid for. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I didn't answer him. I was pissed off. And then I was seeing a girl at the time and she was kind of like, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to fucking go. I said, you want to go with me? She's like, no, I got work. All right, I'm going to go. I said, fuck it. I'm already off for work at the time when I was working sales. So everyone's like, I would have canceled the trip. I went down there. I had the best time of my life. I had so much fun. I woke up every morning. Oh, what do we want to do, Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think we'll go get an acai bowl.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to go get that and go hike a mountain. I was able to just enjoy myself and have fun.
Yeah.
So I went down there and then I was hanging with these girls from Chicago. They were dope as hell. They both went on a trip as friends down there. So that was nice to have two people there that were from our area of the States.
Yeah.
And then my second trip down there, I went down there and I was staying at a hotel for half the trip. Then the second half of the trip, I was staying with a buddy of mine. Shout out Chris Moy, he the homie. He allowed me to stay with him and his fiance at the time.
That's awesome.
However, I got a real dose of what Hawaii really is in terms of black mold in houses and the real problem with living there. So when the hurricane was coming, it was just kind of an easy way to cut the trip short. And I told him, I said, I love you guys, but you got to figure out this black mold shit because it's going to kill you guys. It's horrendous.
It's like LA Fitness saunas.
Bro, I walked into their bathroom. And first off, nobody down there has, unless you're rich, nobody has central AC. So that's the issue. You get this humidity from the tropics being down there, the tropical island, and all the humidity and rain and the hot, and it just it festers everywhere.
That's crazy.
So I went to the bathroom, and I'm like, you know when you smell like a damp towel almost?
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that smell? And I'm looking around, and I look up, dude, black all on the ceiling. And I just felt super uncomfortable there. And I told him, I said, I feel bad, guys. I said, but I can't stay here for a long time. Like, this is freaking me out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one time I did a demo job, and we did an old house in Huntington. And then we found out after the fact, we were literally ripping asbestos and lead walls.
Basically barehanded.
Barehanded.
That's
we
good.
had we had the masks that collect it towards your face and actually don't do anything. They make it worse. And I remember
the two on the bottom like this.
No, that's better.
The biohazard mask.
Yeah. So I wore that the second time, but it was a little loose around my face. And then I was you keep on having that reoccurring thought, like, this is taking years off my life. You can't put a price on my health. And I was just like, I'm out. But I remember thinking about that. I was just like, I'll hit the sauna and try to do what I can to negate.
Sweat the chemicals out.
And then you're at LA Fitness, you look up and there's more mold. Well, fuck.
I think I looked under. I looked under.
Oh,
so
yeah?
maybe it's not as bad if it's under.
And you know that's
we're optimistic, sure.
And you know what that is? That's not just regular black mold. That's ball sweat black mold. That's some old dude's nuts just
The
dripping.
old guys who just come to the gym to get naked,
just
go in the
dripping.
sauna.
And then that festers and it creates black mold, so it's nut mold.
They gotta get some nut butter, bro. They gotta get some nut butter.
There you go.
Yo, my aunt messaged me this past weekend. She goes, "I heard nut butter is life changing." Dude, one of the guys at the gym. Did I say it last episode? I don't think I did.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I forget what I say and what I have conversations with.
Yeah.
But if
That's
I
all
did,
right.
whatever, it doesn't matter. One of the guys comes. Oh no, I didn't. I definitely didn't. One of the
You
guys
just told me.
One of the guys comes up to me in the gym, and big dude comes up to me. He goes, "Yo, man, I want to tell you something." And he like right close to me. I'm like, "Yo, what's up, man? What's going on?" He's a good dude. I'm friends with him, but
Yeah.
I was like, "What's up? Like, did I do something? Did I say something?" He goes, "Yo, that nut butter is life changing." I went, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" He goes, he's like, "I don't want to be weird, but I kind of think about it every time I go to grill." I said, "Don't think about me when you're buttering up your nuts, bro. Please don't do that." But yo, I got everybody buying it. The new
That's
thing,
funny.
if you buy nut butter, put in the notes.
Nick 20?
No, I wish. Not yet. The voice in Rizzles 20. No, don't actually do that. It's not a code yet.
Yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put in the comment section when you order your nut butter. Just put it in.
At the Tame the Beast, send the code.
Yeah, at the voice in Rizzles sent me. That's it. That's you got to put.
All right.
It's
Yeah.
good shit, man.
Putting it down in the notes.
Done.
And yo, we don't get. I mean, obviously, we're not getting paid to talk about it.
Yeah.
That shit's just good, man.
I just heard that mentioned in like three of the podcasts.
And everybody
Yeah.
uses it
It's
afterwards.
like a reoccurring thing.
And they fucking love it. I got
Yep.
another text message from one of my buddies this morning. He's like, "Yo, boys, I just ordered more." It's like, "You went through a whole jar?" Oh my god! You better
It's been 2 days.
stop
I've
buttering
had an
up.
amazing week.
You better stop buttering up those nuts, son. Yo, look. Only way to do it, boys.
That's funny. That's funny.
It's the edible one, the peppermintini.
What are the macros on that?
I don't know. It's
Doesn't
not,
matter.
Not mine to eat. So
Yeah, true.
anyway, I want to talk to you about you as an athlete. I think that just you're an awesome individual. Number one,
you.
yeah, of course. Real recognize real. That's how we do it, baby.
100%.
And you're also a vegan, which
Mhm.
I'm not saying it as
4.5 years.
Yeah, I'm not saying it
Crazy.
as like a downplay. I'm saying that that's awesome.
You're a vegan, and you should feel bad about
He's
it.
a fucking vegan.
Yeah.
He doesn't eat steak. He's less of a man.
have to eat more steak for him.
Yeah, I guess I got to kill more cows.
I can't imagine how many times I've told that to you, though.
Yeah. Well, we did this kind of cringy video at Whole Foods one time. Where
I remember that.
Yeah.
Who, you guys did?
Yeah, we went
we
to Whole
we didn't even
Foods.
put it anywhere.
No, we didn't. I was like, this is staying.
bad.
This is staying in the storage.
Is this going to make me
files.
reevaluate my
in the
co-host?
back of
No,
our
no.
minds.
You know that Gilgo guy? No, I'm just playing.
What'd you say?
The Gilgo guy.
What's that?
The Gilgo
The
Beach guy?
murderers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If I show you those videos, you might get some certain thoughts about John.
All right, I'm going to have to change
He's
these.
st- he's
I'm going to have to change these fucking locks.
There's like a scene where he's standing in front of the meat section. He's like, "Oh, this feels like heaven, and the smell is delicious." And it was fun. It was funny, but at the same time, like just to be real about veganism.
Sounds
Yeah,
like slight.
yeah.
It sounds slightly murderous.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think what's cool about John and I is, you know, he has his beliefs and I have my beliefs, but we can still have an open dialogue.
Yeah.
The biggest problem is when you try to drown somebody else's voice and stop the conversation. Because if it's just words, let's talk it out. You know?
Well, that's the same way. That's how I am with politics.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
how I am. And we don't talk about politics on the show. Matt brought it up. He said, "Oh, Trump 2020." And it's like, okay.
Cool.
I don't care. Like, listen,
Yeah.
if I am not a supporter of whatever party I am, I don't care what your beliefs are.
Exactly.
You
as
have-
long
you-
as they don't infringe.
Exactly.
Right.
You have in
Exactly.
anything that anybody believes in, you have the right to have those thoughts and beliefs.
Yeah,
And who am I to say that you can't have those?
exactly.
Just don't sit here and push yours on me. Like if you came in here and said, "Yo, don't eat fucking steak anymore,
Yeah.
and only eat vegetables," and you're an ass, and you start
Exactly.
guilting me,
Yeah.
then that's a problem.
No, but the thing with it is if I start talking about, you know, why I went vegan and there's certain things that resonate with you and you want to have that conversation or have that dialogue, then I'm all for it, you know? It's just like there doesn't need to be a disrespect. You know, I can take the jokes and if they're tasteful, I'll
Of
crack
course,
up at
of
them.
course.
You know, but at the same time, like me being vegan is a fundamental aspect of who I am because this is in alignment with who I am. So there was a vegan extravaganza. It was an event in Brentwood. Thousands and thousands of people showed up to it, and I gave a speech there. And I you know, big shout out to Michael Stroud and Jennifer Green for running such an amazing event. I'm sure there were some other people there as well that put together the event, because it was truly amazing. The show up there of everybody, and my speech basically went about transformation. And it's not the transformation of just being a bodybuilder. It's about the transformation of what you want to do, what you're passionate about, and how you can get from point A to point Z, because it's not just point A to point B, it's a whole journey.
Yeah, that's great.
And life is a journey. It's not a destination. I think that's a problem that a lot of people have, is when I get this and this and this, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be happy and everything's going to be great. When really it's just each and every day embracing that. So the first thing with me was, I was 18 years old. I was unhappy with myself. I looked at myself in the mirror. Honestly, I didn't have a rough childhood or anything like that, loving family, friends and stuff, but you can manipulate yourself into, really not liking who you are. And that was me, So when I was upfront with myself and said, I'm unhappy, why am I unhappy with myself? I never really committed to anything. I didn't have that confidence, and confidence is only built through work and skill and mastering your craft or following through. When there's more closure and you're following through, you're going to build that confidence in yourself. So when I said that, I had my why. My why was I never committed to anything. I didn't like what I saw. I wanted to change. I wanted to re-identify who I was. And you have that opportunity every single day. And a lot of people will identify themselves, during those years of adolescence or teenage years, and that could stick with them for the rest of their lives. But in reality, you can always change who you are. So I chose to change myself for the better. So when I was 18, I got my driver's license, and I told myself, I can drive to the gym. There's no excuses. I can drive there. But the funny part about it is, when I didn't have a car, I'd still get to the gym. I'd walk to the gym. I'd message friends. I'd work out at home. I'd do anything. When there's a will, there's a way. So there was that limiting belief and those obstacles that are just illusionary, kind of what fear is. So the second part about it was consistency. That's the secret everybody wants to hear. What's the secret, man? How'd you change? Are there shortcuts that you took? Is there a secret supplement? You did steroids, this, that, the other thing? No. I can't remember the last time I've taken more than, 5 days off of the gym. There was 2 times. I got sick and I went to Miami. Those are 2 times that I've taken a week off from the
Miami
gym.
was a reward for all the years of the gym.
Exactly. And, the thing with it was I was consistent. And, people tend to think that that's a secret, but it's the day in and day out discipline. It's not going when you feel like it.
I didn't want to go this morning.
Exactly.
I was so tired, man.
And you went.
Yeah,
and
I
crushed
I
it.
slept an extra hour, and then
Right?
I said, fuck it, let me go hit back real quick, so this way I can get my day going.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm in prep right now.
Yeah.
I
Feel
wanna-
like doing?
Yeah, I'm
you
getting up.
sleep.
I want to go to bed. I'm
Yeah.
waking up at 6:30, doing an hour of fasted cardio, going home, eating a meal with no carbs, standing on my feet, training clients all day, telling them to eat food, whatever, and then doing my workout. I want to lay down on the couch.
Exactly.
That's what I want to do right now.
And that's the extreme level of discipline right there.
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. So that's the beauty of it, is like when you dig deep like that, granted there's unhealthy aspects to prep, but there's such a upside to that struggle that I think is truly amazing. So that's why with discipline, it's about going even though you don't feel like it. It's going because you said you would go. It's going because you have a why that you want to follow through on. And then another part is who you surround yourselves with, that community. Granted, there's going to be times where you feel like you're alone and you're, this is your path. You have to have people that are there to support you, not there to bring you down, because then it's just making it harder for yourselves, And then the next part is refining your system. How can I achieve something in 1 year when this person did it in 5 years? How can I optimize my time in the gym? What's enhancing, the time that we all have, the finite amount of time per day. So that's a big thing I touch on with personal training, is if there's accountability, there's all sorts of things with personal training, but there's also that knowledge transfer. We've all been there. We've made the mistakes, and we've learned from them. And how good does it feel to pay it forward?
It's awesome.
It's an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
That's my favorite feeling, because my whole thing is about love. When you have a foundation of love, how big can the infrastructure be? How high can you build that building? When the foundation is faulty, when it's coming from negativity, you only get where? 10, 20, and then it crumbles. So that's why I talk about refining your system, learning, surrounding yourself with the right people. And then also, I remember quoting Aristotle. I don't know if this is verbatim, but it's a sign of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. And that kind of ties into having a conversation and open dialogue where people say things and it's like, I don't agree with that. I'm listening. And then, I said something that's like, I learned from that. That resonated with me. Because a lot of times if you hear somebody say something, you disagree with it, you might shut down everything else they have to say. So that's why a student mentality is something that I live by. Till the day I die, I'm a student of the game.
Yeah.
There's levels to it, but I'm always a student. That's why it's important to seek out mentors. That's how you optimize your time, your life, learning from people where you want to be. And then, as we touched on before, the last part that I concluded my speech with is embrace the journey. Take it all in. I remember my first prep, I was like, this sucks. I want it to be over. I used to go for walks at night and visualize everything. And those were really, really great moments for just I was walking by myself. But I remember for a majority of my prep, I was like, I can't wait for this to be over and I can eat. And funny enough, I look back at the pictures, I was like, man, you really did an amazing job and you pushed through. And, that's not to gas myself up. That's the reality of it. I suffered. And people think, I have to be happy to do this and happy to do that. And it's happy. When sometimes...
They never done a bodybuilding prep.
They've done anything hard in their life if they think that's how it works.
They never had to push themselves to point zero.
But it's a skewed perception that can hold you back. You can be happy with the hard work you put in, even though you're suffering. You can kind of look at yourself from an outside perspective and say, I'm happy with what's going on and where I'm moving and the progress being made. Granted, I feel like this, because we're emotional beings. We act off emotion, but there has to, I believe, be a stoic side to the process where, that's how you can continue to elevate and enhance and get better. So it felt phenomenal given that speech. Nothing but love to everybody that showed up.
And you gave this speech where?
At the Vegan Extravaganza.
And where was that held?
That was at Brentwood. That was at it was at a church. I forget the exact name of it, but it was a really awesome event. And I also set up the MFIT product that was vegan, to accommodate the event. And people bought some Havoc. They got some Menace. They tried the samples.
Those are weird things to sell in a church.
Bunch of vegans headbutting walls.
It might have been a school. Yeah, right?
After your speech.
Yeah.
Fuck the cow eaters.
So, actually tying into refining my system, it was when I went vegan. I watched 2 documentaries, Cowspiracy and Earthlings. And those 2 completely changed my perspective. I went vegetarian for a month. And then on the to my first Arnold on the way there, things got tough. I got McDonald's, just to keep it real. And we're on the road. I got a McChicken, I messed up, but I gave myself the opportunity to try again. And when I got home, I watched those documentaries. And the very next day, I got rid of all animal products. When I watched Earthlings, I cried. I was watching it, and I was like, when does this end? Everything that humans are doing to animals. I think we can all agree that slaughterhouse footage is very tough to watch.
Horrible. Of course. Horrible to watch.
Yeah. And I believe that we vote with our dollars in the sense that you're contributing to that. That's my belief, and I didn't want to condone that. So I made that change, and I felt better because of that. I felt healthier. I felt more compassionate, more human, and I won my pro card on an all-vegan diet.
Naturally.
Yeah. And that was just all the positive reinforcement right there and validation. Granted, we know it's not good to be out seeking validation, but it's good to reinforce and validate that feeling of, I'm doing all this hard work. I'm making all these changes. Is it worth it? Is this the right thing to do? And it's almost 5 years of living this lifestyle and being with the community. And it, like I said, it all comes from love. I literally just want to feel better. And I want to be more compassionate to the animals. And there's environmental aspects, such as all the methane gas that's produced from the cows and other animals. I mean, I even heard, I don't know how much of this is true, but I heard that the burning of the Amazon was due to cattle grazing because they eat so much meat in South America that they're burning the lungs of the earth for more land for cattle to graze to eat.
Makes sense. I don't put anything past shit like that.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories, stuff like that. Anything that makes somebody money, anything that randomly happens and occurs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that random things and events don't happen by themselves, and you have to battle against them and come back. But something like that, like the Amazon forest, just burning out of nowhere,
and continuously.
And there's something.
Who knows if it's still burning right now?
There's something. Yeah, they don't talk about it. They'd rather talk about the presidency and impeachment and more negative shit that's going on here. That's why I don't watch the fucking news.
Yeah,
because I don't want to know that. Yeah. I use my news app on my iPhone, and I have it tailored. If anything political comes up, I say I don't want to see it. Don't tell me, because whether I vote for this person or not, it's still going to happen. Doesn't matter. Our say has nothing to do with it.
So do you vote?
I do vote, but the politicians still have their own agendas.
Of course.
The agendas are of theirs. The Electoral College, in my opinion, is out because they don't, or was structured, I should say, because they didn't feel that the American people were educated enough to ultimately vote for their own person. Although your vote counts, it technically doesn't.
Yeah.
So I'll vote because constitutionally I appreciate and support everything that military and wars and what everybody fought for so many years. On that side, I appreciate that, and I want to do my constitutional right to vote. But for me, shit's gonna happen with or without our say, and they don't give a fuck who's rioting, who's making noise. The government's the government, and if there's money to be made, they're gonna make it, and that's just how it is. That's if you look at a lot of different businesses models, monopolies in tech companies and even bodybuilding federations. Yeah, it's all for money. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's for the love of the consumer and the client and the end user and stuff like that. But that's technically overshadowed by the will to make money. So don't get it twisted. Yeah. I work for multiple companies in B2B, in B2C, everything. End goal is always to make money. If there's money to be made, they don't give a fuck what they have to do to get it to people and to make it, but they'll do it. Yeah. So shit like that doesn't ever faze me. Yeah. I am totally open-minded and understand that was more than likely done to make more money and to support a business.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? How you were saying, the Electoral College doesn't believe the average person is intelligent enough to do this. They're kind of 100% right. Because what Oliver was saying before, where the worst thing is people just shut their brain down when another idea comes to their head. Why you and I work well with each other, Oliver, is because if we're talking about two different things, we're intelligent people. We can sit there and have a conversation. Go, all right, I didn't think about that. It's not belittling. It's not, nope, fuck you, you're wrong, I believe in my way.
Yeah.
That's my biggest gripe with religion. It's, nope, my book is right. Well, why? Why is your book right? In 100,000 years from now, somebody could find a book of, the last copy of a book ever written. It's The Hobbit, and go, oh, this must have been how everything started. Nope, where are the dwarves? Where's the bones of the dragon? So, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily how it has to be. If somebody shuts their mind down, you can't have an intelligent conversation about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I believe it's so important to be able to listen, actively listen.
And not just listen to answer.
Yeah, that's a big one. Dale Carnegie, how to win friends and influence people. I think he talks about that a lot. Ask questions, get to know people.
Yeah.
So important, because we can't just be wrapped up in ourselves. And that was actually a big issue I had before giving my speech. A good friend of mine who owns Sweet Soul Bakery, cut the check. No.
There you go.
Cut the check.
Send the check. No, don't cut it up.
I like that too. Cut the check.
Cut the check.
No, actually, I'm sponsored by him. And, I get some delicious treats for after the competition.
It's a nice thing to be sponsored by.
They're all plant-based too. So distinguishing.
No,
I don't know if that's a word.
Distinction.
No. I don't think that's a word.
The distinguishing.
Yeah, that's.
Let's go with it.
I'm looking it up.
You're in prep, right?
I'm in prep.
All right, so you're in prep. I'm in prep.
I'm dropping a lot of things. I'm breaking things.
I have no excuse. I've been like an asshole.
We're not allowed to. We're not supposed to be smart right now.
No. I've done, oh my God, with prep brain, man. I throw my keys in the trunk and shut the door.
Distinction.
Distinction, yeah.
Okay.
Or the distinguishing or distinction. Yeah. But
close.
With plant-based foods, it's like Oreos are vegan, But like plant-based would be more of a wholesome type of food. It's like there's like tahini, chickpea. They'll use like organic cane sugar or something like that. It's more of a whole food, type of treat.
Like Diet Coke is technically vegan, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
yeah, but it's all chemicals
It's
and
more
shit.
guilt-free, so to speak.
Right.
So, Michael Stroud, he gave me direction with my speech because I felt like, because he pushed me. He's a big public speaker, and he gave me.
And who is Michael Stroud?
Strahl. Actually,
Strahl?
Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his last name.
And
incorrectly.
who is he?
So I got linked up with him through my friend Stanley Constant, who I used to work at College Hunks Moving with.
Cool.
We used to be movers, and then about 3 years later, we kept in touch through social media, and then I met up with him. Funny enough, we did. You guys are familiar with Wim Hof?
No.
He's called the Iceman. He actually hiked Mount Everest shirtless in nothing but shorts and boots.
But why?
Yeah.
Yeah, why? What's that?
Why?
Yeah. So his whole belief is that we can, take control of our health. That a lot of people are sick because they're so out of tune with their body. They're ridden with parasites and they have a weak immune system.
He's trying to ground himself.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's crazy about it, though, is he was injected with a certain toxin that would give you flu-like symptoms. And through his practicing of cold therapy, you don't have to hike Mount Everest in shorts, but through cold therapy like cold showers, certain breathing exercises, and certain movement protocol, you can basically have a stronger immune system, feel better. And he not only did it himself, and, the scientists said he was an anomaly, but he brought in a group of people, had him do the same thing with cold therapy, breathing exercises, movement protocols. They all got injected with the antitoxin or the thing that would give them flu-like symptoms, and they were all able to negate it with a stronger immune system. And I thought that was absolutely crazy.
When you say cold therapy, you're saying like ice baths and shit like that?
Ice bath, cold showers. Yeah, so funny enough, Stanley and I went to the ocean in the winter. We do that all the time.
Oh, polar bears?
Oh,
Yeah, but we go in for like 10, 15 minutes, come out, chill out, focus on our breathing. We're not shivering or anything like that. Obviously, we worked our way up to it.
Of course.
But it's a really amazing experience when you do it, especially in the winter at the beach. Like nobody's there, or there's like a fisherman saying, "What the?"
The fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah. So he said there was these meetings. He coined it as the vegan Illuminati, and it was just cool because, I don't know that many people that are vegan at that time, and now I do, like a bunch of people, truly amazing. But he brought me into the meetings, and the meetings were held at Michael's house, and we just all hang out, we eat some good food, and we try to do something where each person can kind of present something that they're passionate about. Like if one of the girls is passionate about cooking, they'll cook up some really good food, and we'll all enjoy, and they'll say, oh, this is how it's made. Or if one of them has an idea, like one of them, Jim, he does Lawn Island Farms. I think that's what it's called, Lawn Island Farm. So he's talking about lawns and how we can grow gardens and have sustainable food and localize things more so we get fresh produce and stuff like that. Just some really cool ideas. And Michael wanted me to give a public speaking event about my transformation because, in a sense, it's more of like an anomaly or a contradiction, so to speak, to be vegan and be a bodybuilder. So I didn't have direction with my speech, and I thought I had to just talk about myself. And honestly, like, I was reluctant. And when the speech was coming up like a month from then, I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to just talk myself up and have this kind of like ego-based speech because I didn't have the direction to think, how do I resonate with people? I can just make it more about the journey, the process, and extrapolating that mindset so then you can get better, And when we sat down, we had a few talks about what to talk about. That's when I felt excited for the speech. I was just like, this is going to be great. This is awesome because, people asked questions. I was able to help, stay after, talk to a few other people and say, wow, like this is great. And my whole thing is, I don't want to motivate somebody just in that moment. They're like, oh, that was a good speech. I want somebody to...
You want to make an impact.
Yeah. I want to make an impact where it's like a week from then, they're like, I started because that was the spark. And I tell all my clients this, they're basically friends and family at this point. Everybody that I train is nothing but love for them because it's a relationship, and it's strengthened through the fact that I tell them, I'm encouraging you, I'm helping you, But at the end of the day, you're lifting that weight. You're doing those movements. You're the one who's disciplined. I'm doing my best to keep you accountable. I want to be that catalyst or that spark that opens the door. But at the end of the day, give yourself that props. A lot of people, they, if they want to say, it's all you, Oliver, it's not. And I'll tell them that if they say like, granted, I want to make an impact and I'll get the praise for that. I want to also just reciprocate that because I encourage them as much as they may encourage me, or I want to encourage them more. And that's the best feeling, to be able to say, you did this and I was able to help. And how many people can I help? And that's what I love, having a platform to help as many people as possible live a healthier, happier, stronger life. That's really my mantra. So
that's the best way to do it. Is a little follow up with that is there's this girl I've been training for a while. Her and her mom. She's 15 years old, a softball player. She was like she's a little shorter than me. She was over 200 pounds when we started. She's down 30 pounds now, and it was all very immature fat because she's young, so it hasn't been there for over a decade. But putting this mentality and this education into somebody at that age, it changes their entire life. Imagine everything you know about veganism right now, right? Yeah. And weight training and all the knowledge you've accumulated over these years. You ever see those memes and stuff where it says like, take the red pill, you start over 10 years, like at 10 years old with all the knowledge you have nowadays. Yeah. Or this one, you have all this money. Obviously, you'd always take the earlier one because you could make a better living. Yeah. So I see her as like like an egg in a way. Like somebody's about to go into life with all this knowledge that I sure as hell didn't have at her age. You didn't. Nobody in this room did. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's amazing to see where she's going to go with it because she's down 30 pounds of pure body fat. Her motivation is better. She's more feeling better, just a better, happier person while she's getting stronger at her sport.
It's amazing.
She actually went to the doctor, and the doctor said, whatever you're doing, you got to stop. Because the doctor thought a 15-year-old girl who just lost 30 pounds, she's starving herself. And she's like, no, you have no idea how much food I'm eating. Because she's on keto. So,
I don't know. I think it's the wire. Maybe it's this. I don't know. Some interference, whatever.
All right, there's interference.
Is it coming from Ivan?
Anyway.
Whatever.
It's all right. It'll go away. But the doctor was saying, look, whatever you're doing, you got to stop. Because it's not healthy to be living this way, right? You shouldn't be eating nothing. You shouldn't be eating like a bird. But
was it you?
Yeah.
I think it was touching right here, and there was like a static from that collar.
That's weird.
It's probably because you're vegan.
Jesus Christ.
Just saying, it never happened to anybody else.
Never happened to anybody else. He's electrically charged.
There you go.
No one rocked the Intelligent Fitness, which is the gym I train out of, with the neck collar this high, I suppose.
There you go.
Gotta take that hoodie, that sweatshirt off
I got a stringer under here. I wasn't about to show up in a stringer. So.
But anyway, as I was saying,
the doctor told her to stop.
Yeah, you got to stop because she didn't understand that she's eating all this food, but she's eating maybe 200 or so, a little less, 180 grams of protein a day. She's eating vegetables 3 or 4 times a day. She's eating her healthy fats. And somebody's about to go through puberty. When you're giving them all this good cholesterol, for those of you who don't know, is in charge of your hormone production in your body. It goes right to your thyroid and allows your body to fucking A.
It's not you. I don't think they're going to hear it on the recording.
No. It's going to be really confusing for people, huh?
No, it wasn't. It was something when I pushed this in.
People have been saying that they've been having trouble with that headset. Fucking headset. I'm going to have to return that thing.
You got to get this one.
No, it's because he's vegan.